It is October 16th, 2020, the season premiere of SmackDown on Fox. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Matt, I guess that makes this our season premiere of the SmackDown coverage on the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
I thought you were going to say as it were.
As it were, I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan, and it's our season premiere. What exciting things will we have this season? What storylines will we tease on the podcast tonight? Who knows? Stay tuned for all that and more. I have to ask, I missed last weekend's SmackDown and this week's Raw. I know with these drafts, they do these crossover episodes, and it feels like things are in flux. Tonight felt like there was a little bit left over than that because we saw some people on SmackDown that are going to Raw, I believe.
Yes. So it's one last chance for them to get buried before they go to Raw.
That's one way to look at it. We got to see the New Day have a last hurrah before the change that's happening with Kofi and Xavier Woods going to Raw while Big E is staying on SmackDown. I think that there was some good stuff tonight. Really liked the stuff with Bayley and Sasha. I thought title match with Braun was cool, but we kind of knew how that was going to go. There weren't as many surprises as I would have liked. I think teasing Daniel Bryan doing something with Seth Rollins.
Yes, that was fantastic. That was exciting. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, but tonight to open up with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H out there hyping up the show. I guess I'll put this to the chat room as well. Did it live up to the hype? It felt like they were treating it like tonight was going to be this amazing, amazing evening.
So by comparison, I covered their season premiere just last year.
Yes,
on Fox locally here in Orlando, and it was a huge deal, huge deal. All the different anchors and hosts all day had like a little picture of a SmackDown superstar that they had to talk about. They put so much money into the PR for it, and then the show itself was pretty good. It was. Tonight was, I'll just be honest, it felt like any old episode with a couple of cool new things. Like you said, Seth and Daniel Bryan felt new. That was cool.
Yeah.
But we'll get into each match. I'll give you a breakdown. But overall, it didn't feel like a Fox season premiere.
I mean, I like that they brought in some of the Fox Sports team in the intros. I like that they tried to make it feel big tonight.
They tried to, but then you have to have meat on the bones. You can't just be all sizzle. You have to have that steak with that sizzle. And I was excited. I'll be honest, I'm usually never excited when Stephanie and Triple H come out to start off a show. But I was, because it was different. It was SmackDown. It wasn't Raw this time. And then just to have them all out on the stage and then just mysteriously coincidentally just all start fighting with their perfect opponents that they're angled with all at the same time in a big Donnybrook. Come on.
Think about that. Think about every company you've ever worked for. Imagine when they had what they call an all hands meeting, when the company gets together and the CEO and the president give you the speech, you get everyone pumped up, and one person just yells out like, "You jerk, you stole my lunch from the fridge," and then just a brawl breaks out. This is only in WWE sort of thing when they all get together.
It's just hokey. It is super hokey.
Yeah, not very realistic. So yes, as you can imagine, after they hyped tonight's show, some of the talent, it devolved into a brawl. I mean, do we have to really get into all this? I mean, look, this led to Lars Sullivan versus Jeff Hardy. Lars Sullivan is back. Looks like he's sorry?
I don't know why they're calling I don't know why they're calling him the Freak. No offense. He to me, the Freak is like Rob Terry. It's Batista. Freaky in today's terminology is uber vein on muscle on muscle on vein on vein on vein on muscle. That's the term freaky in today's terms, in today's terminology. He's just a big country looking dude. I don't know how to say it. He doesn't strike me as freaky.
Well, and this is a weird thing to sort of fixate on, but did he have the front chest hair and stuff before?
Yes.
I seem to remember you did. Okay.
Yes.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, does he look bigger? I was like, something looks different, and I couldn't put my finger on
it. He looks a little heavier, not in a good way.
And as Justin Lopez points out with his $5 super chat, take a shot every time Michael Cole says the freak. He would have been drunk by the second match.
Maybe that's what it was, Justin. I just heard it too much. Maybe, I don't know.
Do you kind of regret you weren't like there during a time with Michael Cole just yelling out the blueprint every time you were on screen? You know, I mean, imagine what it would have been like in TNA.
Michael Cole was very different when I was there. Very different.
Yeah. Michael Sachs Jr., $2 super chat, would have had a Big E turn heel on New Day.
Okay.
That'd be good. Something different. Yeah. Per an ETC, I would go with unstable Lars Sullivan. That would be more of a good name for him. Too.
That's messed up.
Close. Joey Dorjan saying he trimmed his beard. Tim Mickle saying his beard's died. It's just a different look. I mean, clearly they believe in him. So let me just paint the picture and set the stage for our audience out there that maybe isn't thinking about this from this perspective. This was the season premiere on Fox. Matt, like you talked about last year, they had all the local Fox affiliates hyping up SmackDown, talking about it. They assumed tonight they were going to get some watchers, some audience that doesn't watch SmackDown weekly. And it speaks a lot. It makes me understand why they did the brawl, because, hey, it's a wrestling show. I'm tuning into a wrestling show. Want to see people fight. But what a vote of confidence in Lars Sullivan that he's the first match in the show of dominance over Jeff freaking Hardy on their season premiere that's going to get some new casuals tuning in.
For what this dude has been, like the stuff that's been out there about him and whatnot, and the fact that he's still there, like they obviously have huge plans for him. Yeah. I'll put it to you this way. Just to be injured, let's just say, if he was injured this whole time, no headlines, nothing negative said about him, whatever have you, just hurt this whole time, I would argue the company would normally not keep that talent this long. That added on top of all the luggage, what's it called? Luggage that comes
baggage.
Baggage, that's what we're looking for. That comes with it, and he's still there. Like, they obviously have enormous plans for this guy. And, I mean, whatever.
In fact, 20 years ago, in a less kind time, when people were not as understanding about such things, the fact that he was having performance anxiety and panic attacks and things like that, keeping him from being able to rise to the occasion, I mean, that would have been disqualifying 20 years ago.
Yes, it would have. It would have been used against him for sure. Not in a way to like tease him or make fun of him, but in a way of he's not ready for the big time.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and given everything else, and we're not going to get into it, but listen to the WINC Daily if you want to hear the latest Lars Sullivan controversies. I mean, clearly the powers that be are very, very high on this man.
They have to be to ignore all this crap. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Leo Rush got buried because he said he didn't want to carry somebody's bags or give performers water on an overseas trip.
And I'm sorry, Lars Sullivan, but Leo's got more frigging, I'll just leave it alone.
Yeah.
More charisma in the pinky, in this part of his pinky, than he does in his whole damn body.
Yeah.
Leo Rush has crazy charisma, bro. And he's good. He's great in the ring.
I agree. So Lars, this was mildly competitive, but Lars beat Jeff Hardy tonight with the freak accident.
He's doing all the crap. I'll be honest. He's doing all the crap that I did when I was in OVW my first year.
Yeah. He feels like big man creator wrestler.
No, it feels like big man, like they don't trust him to do too much yet. So he's doing like tackle spots and crap still.
Yeah.
You know, in today's day and age, that's going to get old, you know? And I'm always for the big guy. I'm always for the big guy. Always, always. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope he's able to do something with this. But I don't know. It's tough when you see people pissing away opportunities. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. So then, one last time, the New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. So it's billed as the New Day's farewell match. And what did you think of the heartfelt promo they cut about this, with Big E staying on SmackDown and the rest of the New Day going to Raw?
Good. Great promo. Only thing I liked about the match.
Yeah, it's time for these guys to move on from Cesaro and Shinsuke.
It is.
And this was a lengthy match, but the New Day did get a win on their last match. I'm excited. I mean, I hate to say this, but look, we've been talking about Big E singles run. The last 4 years now that we've been doing this podcast together, Big E singles run has been recurrent. Something we wanted to see, something we wished for, hoped for, prayed for, wrote letters to Vince McMahon, filled out those WWE fan council surveys, give Big E a solo run, and it's finally happening. I'm excited about this.
I am too, but it would be better for him if he could be a heel doing it. And the problem is he can't be a heel while Roman's there being the heel.
Yeah. And they need baby faces.
Then they need to keep him the hell away from Roman for a good long time.
Yeah.
And just let him demolish people for the year.
Although maybe not, though. I think tonight with Braun getting laid out by Roman, I think...
oh, my God. They burned through that way too quick. That was way too quick.
But maybe... actually, Big E versus Braun. But like you've said, it's like two big guys. I think build them up more individually, then have them face off. I don't know. Yes, Chris Jones predicting that Big E is not taking that belt from Roman. I'm just going to read Antoine Fair. I don't know that I can do this justice. And again, this is based on Go to Wrestling Inc. If you want the story behind this, this is and I guess I'm supposed to say the super chats do not reflect the views of everyone at Wrestling Inc. You can guess my personal opinion on this, but Antoine Fair with $5 saying, I jumped in right at the end of your Lars talk, and I would say WWE makes me question again if I want to watch pushing racist, homophobic clowns. His behavior, it's tough. But the thing that I hate, and we've talked about this before, and again, I don't want to get into it all, it's like WWE's got a lot lately of stuff where it's like, I don't know if WWE's, I feel they need to clean up some things in their locker room based on some of the behaviors that we're hearing about.
And a lot of it is in this case, from the past, correct?
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
mistaken. Not that makes it any better, but that's what I meant, though. Like, most people would not get these opportunities. And just, that's okay. We'll give him another chance. Oh, he did
Especially
that?
in this day and age.
Hang on, let me finish.
Yeah, sorry.
He did what? What? That'll be okay. No. Wait, what? He did what today? It's literally that reaction. It feels like 3 or 4 times now. Any one of those times, I'm telling you, I'd be ghost.
And I know
anybody else would be ghost, would be gone. But they obviously think something of him. I don't know.
And you're right. I mean, so to the past racist behavior and the homophobic stuff, I mean, apparently he apologized to some people in the locker room. Like, he got fined. He paid a fine. And I'm not saying this excuses any of his terrible behavior in the past, but you're right. The fact that stuff is still coming out about his behavior, like, this is, let me put it this way. If I don't want to paraphrase a Chris Rock routine here, but if you worked at McDonald's and did what Lars did, they would fire your ass. A million times over, so it's a little.
It seems to be always something. It does.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, and I can't even keep up with it. I just found out about the last thing today.
Same here. Last show we did, I think the guys told me. So I don't read wrestling news. I don't read wrestling news no more.
Don't want to support the dirt sheets?
No, I just don't have time.
All the stooges leaking the stories.
And plus, I don't wrestle no more.
Oh, that's true. There you go. So the New Day got that win tonight. This was a good lengthy match, but yeah, it's time for something new. Time to move on. Otis backstage. The Miz is suing him still for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Sami Zayn interrupted. Talked about how Otis lost his partner Tucker to Raw and his girlfriend Mandy Rose to Raw. He says Otis will probably lose this lawsuit too. Sammy says there are winners and losers in life. There are winners, and then there's Otis. And Otis shoves Sammy to the ground.
Sammy was at least pretty funny here.
Sammy is like the anti-Lars Sullivan. You hear stories all the time about charity work he's doing like good guy moves. So that's why him playing a heel is actually kind of hilarious because it's so the opposite of.
It is. He does a good job, though. He does.
He's
a great job.
Justin Lopez, $2 saying they better not have Otis cash in on Sammy. I could see that happening.
Better than him cashing in for the world title, Justin. I don't want him clogging up space in the title picture.
Yeah. So Daniel Bryan came out for his Thunderdome debut. I miss Daniel Bryan, and I really, really, really liked this promo tonight. I like he was hyping up some fresh faces on the roster, like Bianca Belair, the Riot Squad. He was excited to fight Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, Apollo, and he was interrupted by Seth Rollins. What did you make of this exchange that they had?
Great. This is fresh. This felt fresh and new. This was probably one of my more favorite parts of the episode tonight, actually.
Antoine Ferris, I'll get to that in a second. But no, Matt, to your point, I want to say this did feel fresh and new, and I was very excited for the freshness and the newness. And then Rey Mysterio's music hit, and he came out with Dominic Mysterio. And Murphy came out, and it's just, Murphy dropped Rollins.
It was a clown card of the angle nobody wants to watch no more.
Yeah, we're not all thinking, you know what would make this angle between the Mysterios and Murphy and Rollins better? Let's throw Daniel Bryan in the mix. No, let's move on to Rollins versus Daniel Bryan. Yeah.
Yes.
So Antoine Fair, $5 super chat saying he doesn't want to get in trouble, but it's disheartening. And Anton, I agree with you. I think you tell from Matt's comments that I think we agree with your viewpoint. I just read the stupid disclaimer just in case Raj gives me any crap about it. Raj likes to remain neutral because this is a journalistic outlet and entity. Matt and I aren't journalists though, and Justin Lambar and Raj couldn't bother to be here tonight. So screw that impartiality bullshit. Carlin Lineback saying I'm back. How am I feeling? Thank you, Carl. I'm feeling better. I can't figure out what it was. I had a weird ass tummy ache from, as we're calling it, tummy ache at age 44, from last Thursday to Saturday. I was worried it was an early onset appendicitis. I think it might have been that I was taking too much vitamin D, and it was some vitamin D toxicity, because when I stopped taking the vitamin D, it went away within a day. So there you go. SmackDown tag team titles tonight, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus the Street Profits. And Ric Flair was watching in the Thunderdome crowd. What'd you think of that? Is it impressive when they've got like Brie Bella on there or Jeff Jarrett? Yes. You like that?
Yes, I do like it.
It's kind of cool that they're like mixing it up with the fans, albeit virtually. This ended in a DQ with the Street Profits winning, and then more fighting happened afterwards. How about this? I think this was the high point of the night. Bayley and Sasha facing off tonight, this contract signing for their match at Hell in a Cell. Bayley not signing the contract. Sasha cutting a really, really great promo. I thought Bayley brought it tonight. What did you think of this segment, Matt?
This was awesome. I like the fact that she didn't sign it, too. You never see that.
Yeah.
Hello? Oh.
Yeah. No, I agree.
you never ever see that in these contract signings. It was different, and again, great promo by Sasha.
Yeah. It was good. Hell in a Cell, this is what I'm looking forward to. This should be the main event. I mean, right? Do you think it's going to be Jay and Roman?
I mean, it does feel like a bigger match than Jay and Roman, though. Yeah. Is there anybody else? I feel like we're leaving somebody else out.
Randy and Drew?
Ooh. See, that could be the main event.
But we've seen Randy and Drew. We've seen Jay and Roman. This is a match that has been 5 years in the making.
Have we not seen Sasha Bayley yet wrestle each other?
I'm trying to think. They've wrestled. Actually, wait, have they really wrestled each other? Because Bayley came back as Sasha's ally. Sasha hasn't been heel, at least never against Bayley.
Yeah, have they? No. Okay.
They've been in matches. They had like one, but it wasn't like when they were still aligned, they were still friends. They had to face each other, I think, a couple of months ago.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Hey, right. I mean, it can main event it.
A little disheartening that there was no women's match on the season premiere tonight. But I will say that the Bayley Sasha segment was awesome. And the Bianca Belair video promo we saw. I like that they're really, really building her up. And I hope she gets something really meaningful.
I think she will.
As a result of this. She's great. She's absolutely a superstar.
Yeah, she's money.
So let's see. And then we're at the main event, the Universal title match with Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. This went on for a while. Goldberg was watching. So I have a feeling. Think Goldberg versus Roman at Survivor Series?
That's a good win for Roman. Quick. Get it done quick.
What did you think about Braun losing this tonight? I'm sorry.
Okay, so I knew Braun would lose, but I just, man, you don't beat your giant like this though either. I don't know I don't think you booked the match. Not yet. You steal a pay-per-view with Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah, you know? and he tapped out. Braun Strowman tapped out to Roman Reigns tonight.
Which is weird because Roman is not he's not some submission specialist. Do you know what I mean?
But I think they're just trying to show his dominance, his brutality, him.
Well, sure, it's just, but you just also completely deflowered your own giant in the process. Yeah. You tapping out, not good. Tapping out is not good for your giant.
Yeah. What'd you think of with the chair after and Heyman handing it to Roman and then Jay not hitting him with it, but then dropping him and then hitting him with the chair?
That was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like everything that like Roman's doing right now. I am in love with. I love everything about it. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the way I feel about tonight's show, as we just talk, I think this is, by the way, the most complete recap we've ever done in the shortest amount of time. There wasn't a lot of meat here, to borrow a phrase. I mean, it felt like the Bayley Sasha stuff was cool. A lot of these matches was like, okay, this is nice, but yeah, we get it. Lars is a freak. Yeah, we get it. New Day, last hurrah. Yeah, we get it. Roman can beat up Braun. Braun's never gonna get a championship run again. It just felt like this was like plain, and plain isn't always bad, but this was a season premiere. The Daniel Bryan Seth part was probably the most exciting tease of something to come. But then the fact that Ray and Murphy are involved is just, it's like watching a new season of a TV show. And in the season finale, characters got killed off. And at the end of the season premiere, like, wait, they're still alive. I hated them. I was so glad they were leaving the show.
Yeah. I didn't like the Mysterios coming out. I just did it.
And I like Rey Mysterio a lot, and Dominic is fantastic as well.
Yeah, but if you're going to freshen things up, you don't bring an entire angle over to the other show.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Justin Lopez, $5 saying the Profits were tying themselves as being Triple Crown champions after that cheap ass belt swap from Raw. So
I know.
New Day. So what happened Monday? New Day and Street Profits literally just decided to trade belts.
Yes, they did. They said, "Here you go. Here you go."
Didn't know you could do that.
So stupid.
Antoine Fair, $5 saying Bayley and Sasha have not wrestled one-on-one since NXT Brooklyn, and that's not true because they wrestled at NXT TakeOver Respect a month after that, but that might have been the last time they had a one-on-one match.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know if they would headline it over Randy and Drew. That's all.
I mean, this is a match we were talking about before as being worthy of Wrestle Freaking Mania.
Main event. I did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the main event of WrestleMania, even I would argue. I still want to see them add layers to this storyline. They've still got way more to go with the storyline between them two. It was just not too long ago that the turn happened.
Yeah.
Between
I agree. And maybe, I don't know, we'll see how the execution is here. Sumed B saying Matt's impression of Glenn introducing the owner and proprietor of Wrestling in Garage Gary was spot on. I heard you drove the show the other night. How'd that go?
I drove us off the freaking cliff about 5 different times. I did my best. That's all I can tell you is I read way too much of it. Whereas the way you do it is much better. And so Sami Zayn versus Chico Adams. Chico Adams with a big upset. Instead of me, I went down like the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like I read almost the whole thing, which wastes a lot of time.
It's amazing. And I would say that to anyone. If you ever listen to this podcast and you think, well, you guys talked about the matches, but you didn't go into enough detail about the corner spot, and then he jumped, and then he did this, and then he did this. Go to the Wrestling Inc. website. There was a detailed blow by blow. Somebody watches this show and writes down literally like a court transcript, everything that happens. And it's on Wrestling Inc.
Mark Middleton, thank you for your service, sir.
Seriously, that's a glutton for punishment right there. Nathan McCrimmon, $5 saying, hey guys, I wish they would stop with the Messiah gimmick. It leads to nowhere. Murphy is star written all over him. He should go for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yes and yes, I agree. Okay.
Good. Just a little bit, $5, and now Braun probably set up to put Keith Lee over on Raw now because I think it's still early to beat Keith Lee. Krana Shah welcoming me back. Thank you. Saying glad he's better, or he's glad that I'm better. Braun's first tap out, he believes. Yeah, it does seem not like a big. Matt, how many times did you tap out in your career?
Man, maybe a few times.
Yeah, you could probably count on one hand, if that.
Definitely, yes.
Somebody
Benoit,
look that up.
Benoit's crippler crossface. Angle's ankle lock. Sting. No, I passed out to Sting. Scorpion Deathlock. Because they were trying to protect me at the time from tapping out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Strange. Chrono wants to know, Matt, what was it like working?
I enjoyed working Crimson. He was still very early in his career, in his maturation process as a performer. But I enjoyed it. I get along great with him. He's a friend. Also, John Silver for BTE champ. Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Terry Allen Jr., 522, saying Sasha and Bayley fought twice in NXT, and one was the Iron Woman match. That's correct. Yeah, they haven't had like a real fight since then. I think they've been in some matches where I think they had one or two where they like had to fight each other, but it was still like, oh no, they're friends. Like it wasn't a rivalry. Dustin Eck, $10. Saying rest in peace to the Macho Man, one of the greats. But LMFAO just came across his rap album he did in 2005. And the album he did a diss track towards Hogan and a tribute to Mr. Perfect. I remember that. I recall it not being a great rap album.
Well, where did that come from, Dustin Eck?
Don't you ever just remember things where you're like, oh yeah, this happened? I have that happen all the time. Like, I mean, it's like the other, follow my Twitter feed. My Twitter feed is an example of the Dustin Eck experience where it was like, oh yeah, remember when Another Bad Creation and Criss Cross were feuding with one another? Like, let's tweet about that in depth because I got memories, No, I think it's good to rediscover old stuff. And wrestling, there's a lot of weird wrestling stuff. I mean, the wrestling album, our beloved wrestling album we have talked about, Matt, in the Land of 1,000 Dances video.
1,000 Dances.
Yeah, there's been some weird random shit in the world of professional wrestling. I tweeted a while ago, Macho Man was on Friday Night Videos, like putting over Richard Marx and Debbie Gibson and stuff. Like, it's really strange, but it's cool that exists and somebody recorded it and we can watch it and enjoy it now 30 years later.
Okay.
I've been spending the last couple nights, Matt. We decided to go back starting with 1990 because I was thinking about the New Edition reunion, and we've been watching MTV Video Music Awards. So now we're up to 1993. We've just been going in order.
Yeah? Dude, the Music Awards used to be the best. I used to watch the pre-show, the red carpet. Yeah. That was a great show back in the day.
They're all on archive.org. If you go to the Internet Archive and search MTV VMA, you can find every year there.
Especially like with Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit,
Mm-hmm.
Not that I was a fan of boy bands, but it was around that time when boy bands started getting popular. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera was starting to get popular.
I know what you're talking about. That performance NSYNC did with Britney that year with the TVs in the classroom, that was actually like, even if you don't like NSYNC, you can't look at that performance and say these guys aren't super talented.
But there's so much great talent at this time. There's so many different genres at the time. And different, think about it. It was so many big stars back then.
Yeah. It's been a great trip to watch out with the old commercials, all the old promos, MTV promos used to be sometimes better than the music videos. Do you remember they did those ones for books and they had like Timothy Hutton, like reading a passage from a book, or they had like Sherilyn Fenn, like reading it, like Keanu Reeves. Like there are some great old MTV promos that you look at now and you're just like, this is better than most of the stuff on TV now, you know?
Oh, wow.
I recommend checking those out on, YouTube. Tony Starks with an interesting question, $4.99, saying, what match would you recommend a non-wrestling fan to watch from the pandemic era?
What do you mean?
Well, of this year, if you had to say the non-wrestling fan, and I don't know if you're going to say this, I'm going to say Boneyard match. That's what I have showed non-wrestling fans this year.
So I can't. So he says this year. So is this year Cody versus Dustin, or was that last year?
That was last year. I'm talking since March, when no crowds.
Okay, fine. Boneyard match. Strowman versus Strowman. What's his name? Bray Wyatt versus Cena was good too.
Yeah, Mania, yeah.
There's not that many. No,
yeah,
I can't think.
No, it has been rare.
Honestly, I think I'd go to AEW maybe. Because AEW has some really good in-ring or NXT. I don't know.
Let's see. I had something, then I lost it. Megan Harden is saying Sasha and Bayley had a one-on-one match in March 2017. Sasha winning with that is the elimination match for WrestleMania 33. That sounds right.
I just don't know why are you guys still wasting money on this?
No, she didn't. That was. I'm reading some of the non-super chats. This isn't all pay to play, especially on a night like tonight when, look, and here's the thing, Matt, you know this now from driving the show. You see the super chats go by and people paid money, and I don't care if we're having the most in-depth conversation about the Goonies and Land of a Thousand Dances and Cyndi Lauper ever. I'm going to stop and read the super chats because people paid money. I like a night like tonight when it's just the two of us, Matt, just you and I, having an intimate Friday evening together, talking about professional wrestling, hanging out with the chat room, and we're able to riff more, we're able to talk more, we're able to include them more. You know what, Justin and Raj, if you can't make it one night, don't worry about it. Matt and I got this covered. This is so much easier and nicer. I don't have to, we don't have to go around with threes. Everyone gets their opinion in,
It's true.
It's just easier. Brian Berry, $4.99, saying, Matt, how hard was it to lift the big show up to F5 him through the announcer table?
Very hard, because he never helped me. He never would assist me. He would never help me. It was almost like he wanted me to drop him. I swear to God.
Well, you're unsafe.
And then later go tell Vince I'm unsafe. So I don't know. I do know it killed my back. It was hard as hell. But I practiced it with him early in the day where he did help me. But there'd be some times where he didn't, which is crazy because that's dangerous, dangerous with his body, honestly.
I'm just waiting for the reveal, Matt, that in a few years, Big Show's going to do a shoot interview and we're going to find out that he gave Vince the stuttering gimmick to give to you because he wanted to sabotage you that badly.
Yeah, right.
Michael Sachs Jr., $2, saying when Guns N' Roses came back at the 2002 VMAs, I was so excited for that, but it was rough. I mean, now even watching GNR, like it's good they got the original lineup back, but
it was rough. That was the first time I saw Axl Rose was different.
Yeah, it was really different. But dude, back in like the late 80s, early 90s, I mean, GNR was the band. And in fact, what's crazy is watching the 92 VMAs, like it was all grunge alternative. Like Guns N' Roses was the only, like them and Van Halen were the only metal bands that held over at all from that era. Aerosmith was in 93, but it really started thinning out. Like very few people had careers from the metal era once grunge took over.
Mm-hmm.
Let me run a theory by you. So we're watching the 92 VMAs, and Van Halen's Right Now won everything, right? And we love that video. It's a great video. I think it's one of the greatest videos of all time. Rest in peace to Eddie Van Halen.
What video?
Right Now. The video for Right Now for Van Halen.
Sorry.
And if you have never seen it, go on YouTube. I mean, the song's okay, but the video's all saying, you know, right now this is happening. Right now this is happening. Some of it's silly. Some of it's deep. In 93, Aerosmith, their big hit was Living on the Edge. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, Aerosmith's trying to tell me about the world. That's new. Aerosmith's trying to solve social problems. I think Aerosmith, in hindsight, listened to Right Now and just ripped that off entirely. And so we need something like that. We need to comment on society to bring the people together.
Okay. What do I say?
Because what other Aerosmith song is like that? You got Dude Looks Like a Lady. You got songs about women and cocaine. And
I'll be honest, though, I never thought of that ever. Ever. I said, wow, Aerosmith's trying to talk to us about the world right now. What great baby faces. I never thought that. Even though those are, right when you started saying it, I was like, yeah, those are the lyrics.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's a different Aerosmith
today.
Yeah. It's really weird. I think I figured something out. I cracked a mystery. Also, I tweeted out the other day, let me get your opinion on this. CNC Music Factory owes some money to people. Who do they owe more money to? Arsenio Hall for taking things that make you go, or Ice-T for Freedom Williams ripping off his entire cadence, flow, and hip-hop sound?
Oh, boy. Arsenio first.
Yeah. I dated a girl once who asked me, why doesn't Ice-T make more dance songs like he did with Everybody Dance Now? That relationship did not last.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's a weird time in the early 90s. Anyhow, so we talked about SmackDown tonight. I want to be higher about SmackDown tonight. I want to look forward to this, but I swear to God, here's the most dangerous thing about WWE's current product, Matt, and you've missed some shows. Do you find, because I think this is the kiss of death for WWE, if you miss a week or two and you turn it back on and you're like,
you're good.
Yeah. But and you're like, this feels like I haven't watched for 2 weeks and this still feels repetitive. I could not watch tonight and I could tell you what happened.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I mean, I would want to go back and watch anything with Roman, I think, because I might have missed a really good Roman promo perhaps, or something that furthered his storyline another week. I would definitely go back on YouTube and maybe see his stuff just to make sure I didn't miss something. But that's it.
Yeah.
I'm saying if I missed an episode, sorry.
Tim Mickle saying Glenn is culturally relevant. These are the things I think about. I went on Etsy the other night and I bought Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat magnets because I was thinking opposites attract. I love that song. Someone on Etsy selling magnets of them. I'm like, yes, that'll go in my fridge. It's worth $5.
Oh my goodness, Glenn.
Well, I mean, what else do we have, Matt? I know you like sports. I mean, we both have rewarding passions and careers and things we do outside of wrestling. But when you need to just blow off steam and watch something, what are you watching that's not wrestling?
Nothing. Honestly, nothing right now. I'm sleeping. Like right now, I am exhausted from today. You have no idea. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm in bed. Jackson in one arm, my wife in the other, and it's lights out.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we should probably wrap this up. I feel like this is it's been brisk. This has been good. We got to the point. We knocked it all out. Going to be back here Monday night to talk about the season premiere of Raw.
We didn't whip out a Lars Sullivan conversation, which I'm proud of us for.
Yeah, I mean, look, people know we have no problem calling this stuff out, but at the same time, like, it's a little weird sometimes when I feel like we don't. It's not that we don't know all the facts. I just don't know the complete story, and I certainly don't want to misquote somebody or misconstrue or get something wrong, especially when it comes to something like that. So he's at BP Matt Morgan. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. Monday night, will Raj be here? Will Justin be here? Will Sam Adonis be here? Tune in to find out on the season premiere of our Monday Night Raw coverage back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care, everyone. Good night.